Alright, it's about 10 a.m. Sorry, 11 a.m. on Saturday morning. Kids are all up, basic chores are done, so you know what that means.
Okay.
Fries and it's rude.
Oh, really?
Because there's so much people.
Oh.
Food, that's what I need. Like by the board. I think I found it.
Okay, a little bit behind on the Bible reading, trying to read cover to cover, this cover to this cover, in 1 year. So I'm going to do a little catch up, Genesis 16 through 21. Let's dive in. What really jumped out at me this time was the story of King Abimelech. Whenever Abraham and Sarah approached him, they lied and said that Sarah was his sister, or they were brother and sister, Abraham and Sarah were. And so King Abimelech takes Sarah as a wife, or tried to. And this is the first example I can find, I think, where God actually steps in and blocks someone's free will choice and says, "It was I who kept you from sinning against me." God says this after Abimelech says, "Hey, look, I did this honestly." She said they were brother and sister. I had no clue that she was already married. God actually stops him from proceeding down that road. On the other hand, if it weren't for God sending Abraham and Sarah this direction towards King Abimelech, none of this would have happened in the first place. The reason I bring it up is any time free will is adjusted or blocked entirely, that's a huge problem. A problem that has to be dealt with. Because if you have a God that preordains or pre-selects who's going to have salvation and who's going to fry, number one, that says you have a pretty awful God. And number two, it means our choices don't matter at all, and we should be doing whatever we want to do if it doesn't matter in the end anyway, because we're all going to be force-fed our eternity by God anyway, so let's just have a little fun or not fun. It doesn't really matter. So anytime there's a blockage of free will, like King Abimelech was blocked from proceeding to take Sarah as his wife, that really jumps out at me, and I'd like to investigate that a little further. See you later.
Hey, I tried to get a pen.
Oh, I wasn't hunting. I wasn't hunting you. I was hunting this.
I'm never gonna know the baby. He is that old.
What do you have to do, Alexa? Stay out, Promo. Alright, I need to talk about the bathroom just for a little bit. We've got some problems. Sink's clogged. Today, toilet's clogged. Really bad. We think Promy put a toy in it. It's very gross. I can plunge it, but just very gently because it's almost overflowed. You can imagine how gross that's going to be if I rock the water a little bit too much. But the main thing I want to talk about is this fan right up here. Now it's more like a light, but it used to have a fan in it. And it sucked the moisture out of the bathroom and outside. The problem is the motor broke 2 years ago, and as you can tell, the ceiling has slowly but surely paid a price for the moisture. So every time we take a shower or bath, even a bath even, the moisture goes up to the ceiling, affects the paint, it's just getting kind of nasty. So my project is to replace this whole contraption with a brand new light and fan mechanism. I don't really have much experience working with electricity, so this is a big deal. My plan is to remove this, and then to do that I have to go in the attic for some of it. Alright, it's very close quarters up here. Don't want to shoot your head up too far, you'll get a nail through the brain, you know what I mean? Alright, we're here in the attic, where obviously we need to do most of our work to get the fan replaced. It's actually right over here in this corner, tucked away right where the edges of the roof meet, so it's kind of in a really difficult to get to spot. My idea is to cut an entryway through this air conditioning trunk right over here. And my theory is I can tape it back together, or a professional can tape it back together later on when we actually need it closer to summertime. But during the winter, I figure let's just cut it up. If I make a huge mistake, it doesn't really matter because I have months to figure it out. That should give me enough room to work. I just don't have the experience to do this kind of operation, this electrical operation, in a tiny little cozy spot yet. If I was more confident about my abilities, I might attempt it. But since this is the first time, I'm just going to make some room, cut open that trunk, get it out of the way. But the problem is, to get to the trunk, I've got all this wood, these long strips of wood that used to be the attic flooring from the previous owner. That's in the way of getting to the air conditioning trunk. I mean, these are about 20-foot long planks. It's not something that can be easily just dragged through the attic and downstairs. So I'm going to take a circular saw and carefully just plow through some of these boards and make little scrap pieces that can be easily moved. Gotta watch out for nails and so forth. I think maybe even tomorrow I'm going to get the saw up here, get rid of this wood, and that can be step one. Then get to the air conditioning trunk. And then finally to the fan itself, which is the point of all this. Fingers crossed I don't die, and let me know if I'm doing something stupid. But you'll get to see this operation. You'll get to see it.